Well, cheers, I do, buckaroos. I think, are you? I'm going to kick some tunes on here at the Beer Whisper Pub. Bear with me. Just bear with me a second. Totally don't mind White Toilet Band here on Beer Whisper Radio. Otherwise known as my Spotify next. Of course, if you can hear the music, I don't own the rights to anything. Oh, mercy. How the heck are you? So, again, it's one of those videos where it's about the glass. Busch glass is actually Busch beer. I'm not showing you the bottle can what I usually do, but excuse me. Take my word for it. It's Busch in here. I took a picture. It'll be in the front of the video. I didn't realize I was looking up some info on this. They've changed your website on it since the last time I looked at it, but I guess I didn't realize or I'd forgotten that this beer is only 4.3%, so it's relatively low ABV. In my opinion, it's very light in color. They tell you the choices hops, barley malt, and grain, but they don't mention corn specifically. I'm 100% sure there's corn. The nose is very sweet, so I mean there's got to be corn in here. There may be rice, who knows? Dr. Woo's Steely Dan. I like this glass though. I picked up this glass back in 2013 when my wife and I visited Bardstown. I remember picking up this in a Budweiser glass similar to this for a dime a piece at a little flea market. We found tons of flea markets out there that we both just loved. Here, hold on while I tinker with my angle again. There we go. It's one way when you take a picture, but when you do the video, it takes a different direction. Now let me back it on just a touch. Here we go. Well, hell, that's still not where I wanted, aren't I? There we go. Ah, fuck it, we'll make that work one way or the other. Anyways, cheers, y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm going to do, for this video, I'm going to do the Busch and the Budweiser all in one video. How about that? In a series I call Sometimes It's About the Glass. Anyway, cheers, y'all. You know what? It's not a great beer by craft beer standards, no. But I mean, it is. Well, it is what it is. It's one of those. Well, you get what you pay for, and it is what it is. I mean, it's what it is. What it was meant to be. Now, in my opinion, has this beer changed over the years? Yeah. Do I think this is the same Busch? They're serving the same Busch now that they were selling the same recipe that they were using back in the 70s? No, honestly, I don't think so. Can I prove it? No. But common sense tells me they're not. Everything and even the food we eat, the ingredients have changed. Things have gotten cheaper, so you'd have to be ignorant not to think that the recipe hadn't changed over the years. Of course, I mean, my taste buds are different now than they were back when I was of legal age in '86, so my opinion of this beer in '86 is going to be different than my opinion of this beer now. Again, having said that, you know, there's no reason to buy a beer like this to talk smack about it. I mean, it is what it is. Drink it cold, drink it fast, and it's for its style. I don't think it's a bad beer. For an American adjunct lager, no, I don't think it's any worse or any more offensive than any of those others out there. Especially at a similar price point. But then again, like I said, sometimes it's not about the beer. Sometimes it's, what are you doing outside? Hold on, my cat got out here. I had to retrieve a cat, man. Oh, sometimes this garage door that goes into the house doesn't get shut tight. And I guess my cat slipped out. We got three now. I've got one that goes out in and out. I don't worry about her. But the other two don't typically ever even try to get out. And she was timidly looking around the garage, so I thought I'd better retrieve her. Anyway, she's back in the house. One of them's outside savvy. I don't sweat her so much, but the other two, they wouldn't make it. But they don't, like I said, she doesn't really try to get out, so the only thing I can think of is that she slipped out here. The door was cracked a little bit, but she would just wander around the garage. She wasn't trying to go anywhere, but she looked scared to death, so that's why I stopped the video to put her in. Hey man, the trials and tribulations of a beer whisperer. Now called Malice. I got a jab in now. So anyway, let me finish this up before it gets warm, and I'm going to go to the Budweiser. Notes. You want tasting notes on this? I mean, do you really need it? I mean, we don't need to, we don't need to do a study. We don't need to do an examination on a beer like this. We don't need to do 30 endless videos describing flavors. That's not what a beer like this is for. It's not a beer that you need to talk about. When you're having a beer like this, you're talking with friends. You're at a barbecue. You're at a picnic, a poker game. You're just having a beer, shooting a breeze, and you don't want to think about the beer. You just want something cold that's going to go down quick, and that's what a beer like this is for. So if you want actual tasting notes, go find a drone out there. There's 100 of them out there in YouTube land. I'll be happy to talk for 30 minutes and go over the same tasting notes over and over in a monotone voice. The nose is sweet. It's so herbal. You do feel the DMS a little bit. There's certainly a corn sweetness going on. But then again, I mean, drink it cold, drink it fast, and, don't wax philosophic about it with your buddies. Cheers. Biscuits. I'm going to be back with a bud here in a minute. Cheers, and how you do, buckaroos? And here's the bud I promised you. In the glass. Again, it's one of those sometimes just about the glass videos. I did the Busch, had the bud. I will say something about both of them, though. I poured both of them rather aggressively to get some head. Because he doesn't want some head, man. But I will say that the head did last longer on the Budweiser than it did the Busch. On the Busch, the head went down almost immediately. Rain, the Colt. Outstanding music here at the Beer Whisperer Pub. As always, because the Beer Whisperer knows how to rock it, baby. Beer Whisperer can rock it, man. Now, they do say clearly, even on their can, that this contains rice. It does contain both 2-row and 6-row barley. Most European countries don't use 6-row, but 6-row has been shown to be better for adjuncts because of the enzyme content. It adheres better to adjuncts. So most breweries that use adjunct lagers will use that 6-row because it adheres better to the corn. So but again, anyway, they don't say it specifically, but I'm guessing that Busch uses 6-row. But Bud does use 2 and 6. It also does use rice. They don't mention corn. The nose is a little cleaner, I will say. It's not quite as sweet. Lorelei. Sticks. I'll be honest with you, even when I was a macro drinker, before we even called them macros, before the existence of craft beer, I was never really a Budweiser fan. I'll be honest with you. I liked other beers better at the time, for one reason or other. So now when I drink a Bud, it still doesn't do much for me, to be honest with you. I always had that carbonated water kind of taste, that club soda, I guess is what I'm looking for. I always felt like that club soda kind of taste to me. It is a little crisper than the Busch, though, I will say. It's a little crisper, a little cleaner. I don't know if that's any better. It kind of depends on the flavor you're looking for. I don't know if it's $1 a 6-pack better, or $2 a 6-pack, whatever the price difference might be. Yeah, I don't know. But again, it's Budweiser drinkers are Budweiser drinkers. They are loyal. They're brand loyal. That's the big difference between macro drinkers and craft drinkers. Micro drinkers are brand specific. A Budweiser lover loves Budweiser. They think all of the beer is bad, even though there's not a nickel's worth of difference between any. Well, craft beer drinkers may have a favorite brewery or a local favorite that they frequent or have their so-called go-to beers. Macro drinkers are always looking for something different, whereas my craft beer drinkers rather are always looking for something different. Where you watch a macro drinker go into a liquor store, they go straight to what they're looking for. They grab that 6-pack, 12-pack, 30-pack, and they're out the door. Craft beer drinker walks into the store, and depending on the selection, they could be there an hour. I know that for a fact because I am that guy. Yeah, I mean, if I go into a nice, well-stocked store, yeah, especially if I'm in a town that I've never been to before. I mean, I remember the first time I ever went to a Lucas Liquor in Kansas City. I think I was there for an hour and a half, man. I was just in awe. The first time I was at a Randall's in St. Louis or a Friar Tuck's out there. Hell, even a wine and cheese shop, I think I was there an hour. That's a much smaller store. Because they had a lot of stuff that I wasn't familiar with. But that's the primary difference between the two drinkers. And macro drinkers primarily are drinking to get drunk. Sometimes they're drinking to quench their thirst. It's a hot day. They just got home, a quick beer. Sometimes macro drinkers are primarily trying to get drunk. While craft beer drinkers are enjoying the beer. That really is the major difference between the two types of drinkers. Now, of course, there is some overlap. But that's the basics. So there you go. Let me knock this one back. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now I'm digging deep. We're going deep. So when I play deep track, it's actually a freaking deep track. Shoot star, break out. Tell me last time you heard this song on the radio. I am trying to beer whisperer. Your evangelist, beloved beer drinker. Beer wisdom. Hey, man, sometimes it is about the glass. But whatever kind of drinker you are, drink the way you like and don't let anybody tell you different. We start again. I'm done to beer whisperer. Beer evangelist, beloved beer drinker. Per beer wisdom, man. You break out. All right, good guy. Cheers, y'all.